Hey everyone, this is Huasan. I am currently rank 17 on the normal ladders of Greater With on Europe. Uh, in this video I'm gonna talk about what items, stats and so on I prefer to have. First let's talk about the weapon. Uh, is the furnace and the drop rate is really low. So it's not many that have this weapon. The reason why people want it because it's a two-hand weapon. Two-hand weapon do more damage over time because the bonus is depending on the weapon damage. Also, it's doing elite damage, increase 44% up to 50%. So my elite damage is really high. I have like 104% elite damage, so I do 104% more damage on elites. What most people are using if they don't have a furnace, they're gonna use Maximus. Uh, it have elemental damage and it's a two-hand weapon, so it's gonna tick harder and do more damage than a one-hand weapon. What I have seen is possible is for oops, I keep kicking wrongly. Let me see. Pamela Sunkeeper. You can use a one hand with Sunkeeper, the off hand with Sunkeeper because you get 30% elite damage, and you can use the off hand because you get elemental damage and more crit. So the reason why Sunkeeper and off hand is good because you get good stats, and I have seen people on with 40 and so on with that combination because you gain a lot of damage with more crit and crit hit damage and elemental damage and elite damage. So Sunkeeper is a very good option beside Maximus. When you start out, you don't need the perfect rolls, you just need the Firebird set, like 5 pieces, and Wall of Wing of All Grandia, when you don't use 6 pieces. You can also craft Devastator if you don't have any one-hand weapon with fire damage before you get Maximus. What you want is on weapon you want high damage as much as possible, and you also want intellect and vitality. You can get the 10% increased damage on elites instead of vitality, but right now you need the vitality because when you hit the higher greater width you're gonna die from 1 to 2 hit from like Rift Guardian and so on. Some hit really hard. Here you really want let me see my old ones. Here you want crit hit damage, crit and elite damage because you're gonna hit harder. Also I'm using Stone of Vengeance because when I stand 50 yards I do 30.75% more damage. Every 10 yards I give 6.15% damage. So the distance is like this. You use disintegrate and comments, then you fire. So this is 50 yards. So every time you stand here, you do 30% more damage. So every 10 damage is 6% damage. So you need to keep distance to maximize the use of the legendary damage. So it's almost the edge of my screen. When you see my videos, then you know why I stand so far away from them. Also, if you stand far away, you have more time to react. My hands I just need one with the same stats, with higher armor, and a better secondary stats. I want pickup range instead of experience. Here I want cooldown reduction instead of reduced cost. I want resist all instead of 395 armor. I want pickup. I want plus potion and health, like here, plus, because you need as high as possible plus health clove and potion, because one small health clove is not gonna heal you high enough. And also this gonna increase your health when you use your potion. I use increased armor because it's give me more mitigation, and you really need that on high grade with, or you're gonna die. Here on my helmet I want higher armor. I want the same stats but just perfect stats and higher armor. And you sometimes also want resist all instead of vitality, but the reason why I do this combination is because far in the future I want to use resist gems instead of intellect when I reach higher paragon points, but that's really long time, so I'm thinking long term. Here is almost perfect, I just need more armor. Here is same, I just need more perfect rolls and stats of all of them. And the string of ears give me 28% reduced damage from melee. Sometimes I use Eye when I'm in on a party, because I get 32% reduced damage from range, so it's really good mitigation. And I got a lucky on the rolls on the Eye. Here I want resist all instead of 585 armor, and I want pick up range instead of ranged melee attacks. Here is perfect, I just want resist on my secondary instead of experience plus, but I'm satisfied. Here I want elemental damage instead of intellect, because long term you get more intellect from paragon points and you really want more damage, so same stats, just elemental damage and higher rolls. Here I use Bane of Power because it gives me elite damage, and I gain 20% increased damage for 72 seconds after I kill an elite pack. You want as much damage as possible, because you're not gonna beat the time if you don't have damage enough. I use Strong Arm because every time the enemy got knocked back, they're gonna give you 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. I get 29 because I don't have perfect rolls. I want resist instead of extra gold from monsters. Here I use legendary gems with poison, because every time I poison I get 10% increased damage, and they're gonna tick for and do 4000 weapon damage over 10 seconds, so it's really good boost damage. I want crit hit damage instead of intellect, then I'm satisfied with the rolls. If you have almost the same as me, you should be able to have really high mitigation enough to survive. So you just need to perfect the kiting, what I talk about on the other video. Then you should be able to do damage and to avoid damage and beat the timer. If you don't have in so much paragon points, you need to focus on max arcane. I explained on my kiting video. You need you need to apply blizzard so they cover the air the elites are coming down. So the more arcane the better, because when you're fighting all the time you're not gonna regain fast enough. First, maximum arcane, highest 25% total speed. If you, the cap is 25, so you need to watch here. If you don't have speed here or anything, you do not want speed because you want armor here. So 25, and then the rest on intellect, because you get resist from intellect plus damage. If you need mitigation, so take on the vitality. Here you want crit hit damage, crit, then cooldown reduction. Here you want resist and armor. You can always check what gives you more. Also, what if you have two pieces, what gives you more armor or resist, and compare it and take it off and on. So first armor and resist and armor, then life. I prefer life instead of life regen because I want to take whenever I take damage, I want to survive, and you need to have high survivability with armor, with resist, and vitality, so you can take big hits. And when you are reach 39, 38, and so on, you really need to could take big hits, because the regen is not gonna go fast enough, because we are not gonna get proc from life on hit and life second so much, because we don't fire as much. We only do apocalypse, and the proc efficient is not really high on this one. The force is not strong with it. Here we're gonna reduce cooldown reduction and air damage first, and then life and hit. Well, I hope this information is gonna help you. You all know the unity combination with the follower cannot die, and your follower have immunity, and you have immunity. Then you're gonna take 50% decreased damage. Also, you need to have blur. I have illusionist because it's gonna reset my teleport and my duplicates every time I take 15% damage within some seconds. I think it was here. When you take 15% of your maximum life within 1 second, the cooldown of teleport and so on will reset. So you can. That's why everyone is using illusionist, and it's gonna help you kiting. Everyone is also blue, because when you get really high damage, you need as much mitigation as possible. Even if I'm using Irefilic and have really high mitigation, without blue I'm gonna die much easier. So you really need high mitigation. Everyone is taking unstable anomaly, because 40 and 41 greater wave you're gonna proc and die. If you don't have unstable anomaly, you're gonna run back all the time if you unlock it with guardians and so on, because the timer on the bonus here is 6 minutes, so, and this one is 1 minute, so it's really good to have one extra safety net. I use Astral Power Oppression instead of Conflict Rate, because I get more arcane power and I get more regens. I use this one instead of this because I get more damage, and I also get to use evocation, so I get more black hole, because it's really important to start black hole the elites and blizzard as fast as possible. Also when you're kiting, you want to gather them around kiting in a path, and then you want to black hole and apply damage, so you're gonna apply the damage over time faster. Well, I really hope you learned something from this video. As something fast in the future, like I mentioned, if you do feel you are avoiding a lot of damage but you need more mitigation, you can use resist gems instead of here on the pants. You can also use this legendary gems. That's the but it's really risky. I do not recommend it, because damage over time, damage on yourself is not recommended, because on higher greater wave, when you take damage, you're gonna drop really fast. This damage is really good, because I think I would prefer it if I really don't have so much good rolls on my gear, because when you take stun and so on, you're gonna take half damage and you're gonna heal yourself and so on. So I hope this video is helpful. So good luck on Greater Wave.